is in abeyance. It was at the courts of these monarchs that the politicking that was to make modern Uganda took place. Here, people like Speke, Stanley, Lugard met the Kabaka of Buganda to persuade him to accept the overlordship of the British Empire, while Emini Pasha and Sir Samuel Baker tried unsuccessfully to wrest power from the Omukama of Nyoro. There are important monuments left in their wake to remind of the history of that time. Two particularly dominant figures of the time, Mutesa and Kabalega, are found in all history books written about Uganda in the 19th century.
The former for inviting the white man into the country and the latter for fighting him. Their tombs are now important tourist attractions and destinations in Uganda.
Kabalega is interred at Mparo, while Kasubi Tombs, where Mutesa was buried, is listed among the UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. Uganda's heritage does not only lie in architectural relics and regalia of former monarchs. It is to be found in nature as well. In the heart of Uganda's central region at Mubende Hill, one finds a tree of vintage presence that is linked to an influential priestess known as Nakaima, who is presumed to have lived around the 16th century.
The tree itself dates back to earlier times. It is believed to be the oldest tree in Uganda.
This tree still serves as a spiritual shrine to the famed priestess and is much visited by both local and foreign tourists. A great many natural sites have been preserved, like the Nakaima tree, such as the rocks which serve as a spiritual destination for many believers. There are many such interesting rock formations throughout the country, with the mysterious caves to accompany them. On the rocks and trees you add the waterfalls, a myriad of them in maritime Uganda. Take the Sezibwa Falls, 45 minutes drive from Kampala.
Then there's the Sipi Falls in the eastern part of the country, famous for its attractiveness in addition to ancient myths about it. It is endowed with temperate weather that gives the traveler a good feeling while resting in the green gardens overlooking the falls.
At Bigobya Mugenyi in southern central Uganda, the excavated remains of the powerful Chwezi dynasty, believed to have come from the Ethiopian highlands, are found.
Here, excavators found iron implements, pottery, and other artifacts of great anthropological value.
The recent history is also marked by the impact of Arabs and Europeans.
These visitors, who first traded in slaves, guns, and trinkets, left more of an enduring mark on the land and the people of East Africa. They also brought with them different religions.
The Arabs brought Islam as a new way of worship. While the Europeans brought Christianity, Uganda today is the realm of the two religions.
At Namugongo, there are Muslim, Protestant, and Catholic shrines to commemorate the famous Uganda martyrs.
These people were martyred by Mwanga, a Buganda monarch, who was against the foreign influence on his subjects as brought along by the new religions. He ordered them to denounce their faith at the pain of death.
They met their death with great spirit and enthusiasm and have since been beatified by the Roman Catholic Church and honored by Uganda, which has set aside a national day in their memory.
Pilgrims from all over the world converge at Namugongo to hold Holy Mass in memory of these martyrs. A martyr's trail has been established tracing their journey to Namugongo, where they met their death. It brings glimpses of spiritual Uganda to the travelers. Traveling down the Nile, one encounters the Karuma Falls, where the river's momentum is much more furious as it hits the rocks that separate northern Uganda from the south. Amazing to see, but this is nothing to compare with the experience of the Makshan Falls, whose picture is backdropped with a vast national park, another of the country's game wonders. The Makshan Falls are in the middle of the Makshan Falls National Park. A ride downstream the waterfalls is a breathtaking experience. A real parade of the crocodiles, elephants, buffaloes along the banks of the river, welcoming the visitor to their habitat with a lot of curiosity. Here also marks an ethnic separation.
The people of the north are Nilotics who migrated from Sudan and southern Egypt.
Legend talks about their warlike traditions, which were greatly exploited by General Gordon, Emin Pasha, and Sir Samuel Baker in their effort to colonize sub-Saharan Africa for the Egyptian Khedives, who ruled between 1820 to 1880.
There are a number of forts that were left by the colonialists along the Nile regions of northern Uganda.
Major towns in this region comprise Lira, Nebi, Gulu, Arua, Adjumani, and Koboko, which are set amongst the Lango, Alul, Acholi, Madi, and Kakwa groups.
From these, Uganda has had 3 heads of state.
The north is a very religious area with Christianity dominating religions, here followed by Islam.
On the Victoria are the beautiful Sese Archipelago, islands where nature has been kept, for the most part, in its original state.
The tropical forests, the golden velds, and the fishing folk on the vast Lake Victoria have kept the original picture of Africa intact.
This place offers an enticing retreat from the concrete bustle of modern cities.
At Ngamba Island, one of the islands of the Sese Archipelago, a chimpanzee sanctuary was established. Here, a visitor can closely watch these friendly and playful primates in this exciting environment. The roundabout up-country trip would inevitably bring you back to Kampala, a 113-year-old city, which started with Lugard's fort. It later on engulfed the other hills surrounding the fort. These were previously seats of government for the reigning Buganda monarchy.
The 7 hills each have a landmark.
Old Kampala, where the first British flag was raised to proclaim the British protectorate over Uganda, has a grand mosque.
Kivuli Hill is where the first national mosque was built.
Namirembe Hill is where you find the seat of the Anglican Church in Uganda.
Rubaga Hill, which was the Kabaka's palace at the visit of Lugard, now holds a Roman Catholic cathedral.
Makerere is where Uganda's first university is found.
Mulago Hill is where the National Referral Hospital was built.
Kololo is the country's premier residence. And while Nakasero is where the State House is and most of the government offices.
The city center is where one finds the hotels, the exotic food restaurants, the cinemas, and the shopping malls.
Always having fun, always hanging out. I know that you will love it. It's a city in the middle.
The National Theatre, an important cultural point, is located right in the center of Kampala, next to the Parliament of Uganda.
One can trace the history of Uganda and take a peek at the life in Uganda at different generations at the Uganda Museum, found barely 10 minutes drive from the city center. The outlying hills is where most Kampala people reside, with their own famed entertainments. And when it is night time, Kampala opens up. Kampala by night is a different spectacle from what one sees during the day. That is when all the different backgrounds fuse into the fun that is commonly Ugandan.
This cheerful spirit was unknown 21 years ago. The country was then a melancholic place to be, and bad governance reigned throughout the land.
There was no security of anything, and the economy had gone to the dogs.
A protracted people's struggle, led by Yoweri Museveni, the incumbent president, restored sanity into the country. Today, every 5 years, a new government and legislature is voted into power by an electoral process. This stability has foreseen investor confidence and an awakening of Uganda's economy from a dark limbo. The combination of peace, stability, and good governance has brought about a steady, fast growth in all areas of the economy, and Uganda now ranks high as an investment and tourist destination.
The Pearl of Africa has renewed its twinkle, drawing from all the wonderful gifts nature bestowed upon it.